Hello. You have joined me, Simon Jacobs, for another Adventures in Pop, and I hope all of you adventurers are here because this is a bit of a special one. For the very first time, we are going to forage, we're going to look into, dissect, and analyse my first new single of 2021 and my first new single of a new series of singles that will at some point all be pulled together to make an album, which will be my fourth album. Can you believe that? My fourth album. So tell all your friends, please like and subscribe and all those things because, as I say, it just makes all of life better. It makes it better for you, makes it better for me. You'll be amazed at how much better life is. The single that I am releasing at the end of this week, on Friday the 22nd of January, is called I Think I Love You. So what I want to do is I'm going to talk a little bit about where the idea for the song came from, which is actually quite hard because I'm going to have to really try and remember what I was thinking at the time, but we'll do our best. We're going to play some of the individual tracks. I want to get right into this is what went down on the on the piano, on the organ, on the drums, etc., etc. Here's how it all got kind of put together, and I'll let you kind of see some of that as we go along, and then it will culminate. I think I'm not shy. I think I'll show you the full video at the end of this video. So hang in there, and at the end I'll let you see the whole video, which is a bit of an exclusive because really it's not out until Friday this week when the single comes out on Spotify and all those places. So the song's called I Think I Love You. Now, where on earth did this come from? What happened, I think, if the chronology is, if I can remember it right, is I was messing around with some samples. I was looking for some ideas. I was looking, particularly on this occasion, I was looking at kind of synthy sounds. I came across, from the same place, two sounds, two burbling, repetitive synth things that I just thought were great. And as soon as I heard them, I thought, oh, God, they're really nice. I have used one for the verse and one for the chorus. And as I say, they're both from the same kind of pack of kind of samples, so they're relatives, obviously, of each other. And what can I say about them? Well, let me play them to you now. Just the two different synth lines. Have a listen. So there you've got it. The verse one and the chorus synth. Now what you're listening to is both of those synth tracks being played at a different speed than they were as their original sample. So the work that I have to do is to think, what key am I doing this in? What tempo am I doing this in? And that's only going to come to me when I actually start singing to them and putting the whole kind of track together. But my starting point was those two different synth tracks. What I remember is very quickly, for some reason, I started singing I Think I Love You, strangely, onto that I Think I Love You. And I don't know why I was singing that. I really, really don't know why. This is not an autobiographical song. It's a song that I just thought was fun because what I did with that is create a kind of call and response thing. So there's this voice saying, I think I love you. And then this other voice who's kind of contradicting it, saying, well, hang on a minute. I didn't really mean that. And that is the essence of the kind of the words of the song. It's a bunch of contradictions of yes I do, no I don't, yes I really mean it, no hang on, don't tell anyone. It's that kind of thing. What I'm trying to do is put my mind, I guess, into the head of a much younger person who is really confused, genuinely confused by what they're feeling. They're thinking, is this what love is? Is this how it feels? And yes, well, I do, but I don't. Hang on. I might not be sure. Don't tell anyone. I know we've been making out and stuff and holding hands, but I don't know. And stop it. And so it's really like that. And I thought that was actually fun. I thought the fun was the complete toing and froing of yes I am, no I'm not, all in the space of a few minutes. So it starts out with, I think I love you, and the very first thing then that the singer, the narrator, me, who in this character says is, don't go getting any funny ideas. And again, I thought that was quite an amusing opening line. Don't go getting any funny ideas. This could be no more than a schoolboy crush bound to end in tears. Schoolboy, well, yes, exactly. So, I'm acting, all right? So it's not really autobiographical. I'm putting myself very much in the mind of somebody else. So that gives you a sense of what the words were about. And in fact, the verse is very short. One of the verses is what I've just said to you, and the other verse is this how it's meant to be? 1 minute higher than a mountain, the next minute I'm drowning in the sea. That essentially is the second verse. And then you've got the chorus. Now in the chorus, what you've got, well, we're calling it a chorus. The chorus is basically simply another chunk of call and response. So it changes with the second bit of synth burbling track. The chorus, we're calling it the chorus, is why am I telling you this? There's really nothing here to discuss. Me and my big mouth. So the call is why am I telling you this? Me and my big mouth. Why am I telling you this? Me and my big mouth. So we get a very strong sense here that I didn't mean to tell you anything. I didn't mean to say anything. I don't even know why we're having this conversation. Oh God, I've just blurted it all out. And I use those words, blurt it out. Why am I telling you this? There's nothing really here to discuss. Me and my big mouth. I don't want to talk about us. So that's what you get from this. And essentially, those are the words. It just gives you a picture. And I think I've talked before about creating a picture. I think I had a picture in my mind of just a really big sense of confusion. And if I could find a way of getting that across, so actually it sounds confused and happy and sad and worried and euphoric and, traumatized. It's almost all of that, which of course we all know that is what, that's what young love, what new love can feel like, 1 minute higher than a mountain, the next minute I'm drowning in the sea. So I was trying to kind of colour it in that way without having to say in the song, and this is really important, without saying in the song, this is new love, this is how it feels, it's all full of contradictions. I want people to realise that without me actually having to say it. So what I'm doing is just acting it rather than explaining it. That's kind of important in terms of getting a song to be interesting, I hope. Okay, look, that's enough about the words. What about the arrangement? Well, you've heard those two central synth lines. What might be useful now is let's come away from that. Let's just hear the vocal, because I want you to hear how that call and response thing started to build up, and one for the verse and then one for the chorus. Let's listen to the first verses on their own. So you're going to hear just the singing without anything else at all. So stand by your bed. Here we go. I think I love you. Oh, but don't go getting funny ideas. I think this could be no more than a schoolboy crush, bound to end in tears. I think I love you. No, don't go making any plans. Okay, so that's you've got that as the verse. You've got that very clear, two different voices there, and in the chorus it goes like this. Why am I telling you this? Oh, there's really nothing here to discuss. Me and my big mouth. I wasn't gonna say anything about us. Great. Okay. Now, what was surrounding that? What was the backing track to give that some life? Now, interestingly, going back to it, there's not that much there. Now, some of my songs have got an awful lot more on them than this one has. So the really important features of this, there's a soft organ type thing that kind of goes through the song, which really gives those synth lines a bit of foundation. There's a bass, there's some strings, not too up front in your ear. There's quite a lot of fuzzy guitar, which I'd completely forgotten about until I went back and looked at it. and there's some obviously some rhythm tracks, but not that much on the rhythm tracks. And again, that's quite unusual. Quite often, I've got tons of rhythm tracks all over the place. So let's separate some of these out. Let's hear just the rhythm. You can hear a very dirty drum that comes in about halfway through the verse, and then how that builds for the chorus. Let's have a little bit of that. And now, if we leave the vocals out for a second, we'll bring them back in a moment. Let's then listen to the drums and add in the other kind of backing tracks, so you can see the kind of bed, if you like, that the vocals then have to sit on. And that's quite important in terms of how you mix it. You want to have a clear backing track when the vocals just resting nicely on them, not overpowering them, not being swallowed up by them. So this is a fuller backing track. So you've got the drums here and some of the backing instruments here. Now, there's one thing I want to draw your attention to here, because I've done this quite often, and on this particular track, it made me very excited. I also have a look, when I'm looking at samples, I often look for samples of voices, because obviously I'm aware of the fact if I want to have backing vocals, particularly if I want to have female backing vocals, well, I could do some male backing vocals. I really generally can't do. I can't even pretend to do female backing vocals. That'd be horrible. So it's actually quite useful then to be able to go to a pack of vocals and try and sift through them to find anything that's appropriate to go on it. Now look, there are thousands of packs of kind of vocal samples, and really in any situation, 99 point something % of them are just completely wrong. So when you're doing this, you've got to just keep your critical faculties and search through and just think, is there just one that's going to make it sound better, rather than all the others that are just going to sound odd or weird, or like you've just stuck a really odd sample onto it. So you've got to find something that feels like it really was meant to be there, and that is the trick. And actually, the one I found on this, I really like. And I'll tell you a little secret. When I sent this off to my nephew to be mixed, he sent it back one time, and it was all going well. It was pretty good. And I said to him, I said, look, there's a couple of things here. I said, I'm losing a bit of my vocal here, and I said, but more importantly, sample lady who comes in about halfway through, I'm not hearing her clearly enough, and I love her. I love her. So he went back, he did a great job and clarified, gave clarity to a bit more of my vocal, and particularly to sample lady. So here she is on her own, which is going to be weird, and then where she sits on the track and what she brings to that track, because boy, I love her. Okay, so and then with the rest of the track at that point, or at least with the vocal, just hear it with the vocal. I think I love you. I think I love you. Love you, love you, love you, love you. I think I love you. Why am I telling you this? Now, again, let's be honest, Sample Lady, when I found her, was not in that key and was not in that tempo. So with all these things, you're having to manipulate them into the structure you've got, into the tempo, into the key that you're doing. Sometimes that renders the sample useless, because by the time you've messed with it, it just sounds horrible. So you can't mess to a massive degree initially. I mean, it mustn't be too far away from where it starts from. So let's have a listen to just a little bit now of all of this together. We talked about, you know, the backing tracks, the vocals, sample lady, the rhythm. Let's just have a little bit of what the whole thing sounds like, and then I'm going to just pass you over to the full video effect, and you can hear the whole track in its mixed form and watch the fabulous new video at the same time. How generous am I? Yeah, no, I know. So have a listen to this. And that is I Think I Love You. Now, look, in terms of its creativity, this did arrive in a bit of a rush. And it means that, you know, dissecting it in terms of what I can remember thinking is quite difficult. And, you know, I kind of told you everything I know. And I did have a picture in my head of, once I'd heard those samples of how it should be, it then happened, as I say, quite fast. But and I thought it was funny. I think I was driven by the fact this was going to be sort of an amusing and different way of, you know, telling the love story that we hear again and again and again. So, you know, I think I've said this before, you know, I think it's fine to do love stories until the end of time, as long as there's an angle, as long as there's something that is a little bit different or amusing or questioning, or, you know, makes you think in some way, shape or form. Now, there's just one thing I want to add before I close, just about this whole process of getting somebody else to mix the track. In this case, it was my nephew William, who obviously I know quite well. Irrespective of that, I set myself a couple of rules of engagement, if you like, about getting somebody else to mix, because I think this is really important. Otherwise, you're going to screw up either the relationship or the mixing or both. So I gave William a brief, which is basically do whatever you like, with no boundaries, no parameters. I said I'd like it to have clarity, and I said I reserve the right, if I don't like it, rather than go try and mess with it and try and make me like it, you know, if that's a really arduous process, I reserve the right to release my own version, which is my original track, as the single. So I've got to like it, but I'm not going to tell you how to do it so that I like it, other than a few vague things about clarity. And then when he sent it to me, well, first of all, I was quite nerve-wracked about the whole thing. But this is really important. If you're going to do it, you've got to do it hands off. I think you've got to give the other person some real areas to act out, to influence, to do their thing. Otherwise, there's no point, is there? There's absolutely no point at all. Don't pretend to do it and not do it. So when he sent it back to me, I made a few comments and sent it back to him. Now, what I could have done there is say, "Oh right, send it all to me. I'll make some changes to what I like from what you've done." Didn't do that. I'm pleased that I didn't do that. So I just said, "I think it needs a bit more of this. I think it needs more of that." Sent it back. Got it back a second time. That was it. And it was a kind of take it or leave it thing. And I think that's exactly the right way to do it. Otherwise, you are just going to end up in a mess. But I will leave you today with the video that's out on the 22nd. I hope you will stream the track on Spotify or your favourite streaming platform many times over, and send it to all your friends. In the meantime, though, have a good week or so. Stay very safe, and I will see you next time that you want to join me for another adventure in pop. Thank you very much indeed. Bye bye. I think I love you. Oh, but don't go getting funny ideas. This could be no more than a schoolboy crush, bound to end in tears. I think I love you. No, don't go making any plans. Don't tell your friends, don't say we were holding hands. I think I love you. There's a chance that I love you. I think I love you. Just a chance that I love you. nothing here to discuss. I wasn't gonna say anything about us. Why am I telling you this? Don't know what it's all about. I wasn't gonna say nothing, but I blurted it out. I think I love you. I think I love you. Love you, love you, love you, love you. I think I love you. Oh, is this how it's supposed to be? 1 minute higher than a mountain, the next minute I'm drowning in the sea. I guess there's just the slightest possibility, but I want to be sure, so please just wait and see. I think I love you. Why am I telling you this? Oh, there's really nothing here to discuss. I wasn't gonna say anything about us. Why am I telling you this? Don't know what it's all about. I wasn't gonna say nothing and I blurted it out. Why am I telling you this? There's really nothing here to discuss. I don't wanna talk about us, talk about us. Why am I telling you this? I don't know what it's all about. I wasn't gonna say nothing and I blurted it out. I think I love you. I think I love you. Love you, love you, love you, love you. I think I love you.